I met a man who made $100 million online, and his advice for creators was both shocking and encouraging. Because most online business owners I know get overwhelmed with the million conflicting strategies available to them to grow their income. But the good news is you can ignore almost all of it. Because in today's episode, I'm unpacking Brendon Burchard's 3-part strategy for creating over $100 million in his coaching business. And at the end, I'll reveal the thing he said that gave me the most hope about being an online business owner going into 2025 and beyond. So I just got back from LA. I was out speaking at the Kajabi Hero Live event. It's so much fun. If you are a Kajabi user, you've got to come next year. This is the third one they've done, and it is worth every amount of money and effort and time to get your butt there. The speakers are amazing, the team is amazing, and you get a lot of update on what's happening in the product. And the short of it is it's going to be amazing, and it's continuing to improve. But I was there also not as a fan and user, but as a speaker. And it's the second year I've spoken there. Last year I spoke on the VIP stage, and this year I spoke on the main stage just minutes after Brendon Burchard, which was a huge honor, and I got to meet him in the green room backstage. Really, really nice guy. And I've loved his stuff in the industry in general. He's one of the true good guys in this space. But before I get into his strategy, there was an interesting theme for the entire event, because there were a lot of big name speakers, and they're all power users of Kajabi, all doing tens of millions of dollars in their online businesses. And everyone that was speaking, I'm just taking note as a speaker because I'm interested in what other speakers are talking about, but as a business owner myself and Kajabi power user, what's top of mind for them? And while there were a lot of marketing strategies and tips and here's what's working and under the hood type of presentations, which is really cool. And that's what I did. In fact, I showed how I'm generating over 7 figures in affiliate income alone and how to do authentic affiliate marketing, why it's the fastest and easiest way to scale and diversify your income. There was one theme, though, among all of us as speakers that I saw and I loved, and that theme was simplicity. I mean, it was insane. There were literally business owners there that are doing 8 figures a year who were saying, I had about 17 offers and I'm blowing them all up and I've got 1 or I've got 2. And I love this because I've built my business. I've generated probably $15 million now online over the last 15 years on that principle, which is simplicity is true wealth and simplicity wins. And that's not what you see from most online business owners, especially people teaching business or marketing. They tend to want to make it more complex. So it was really beautiful to see some incredible people that I look up to and enjoy in this space, just sharing how they've simplified their business and how they think simplicity is the thing moving forward. So just encourage you, that's being shared by some of the top leaders in our space. And it's also what I'm doing under the hood. If you're kind of paying attention to my business, this last year and a half has been an interesting one. I focused a lot on launching the new book, Rebel, which was part of the plan. But in doing so, also under the hood, I have been simplifying my business. And you're going to see more of that moving forward as you see sort of what I'm doing as I've turned off some offers and we'll turn on new offers. So keep paying attention. You'll sort of see what I'm doing in real time. But simplicity was the theme. And that was one of the biggest things that Brendon was trying to hone in on in his session. Now, they gave Brendon the biggest session because he's literally Mr. Kajabi himself. I mean, he kind of helped create it because Kenny, the founder, was his buddy, and he asked Kenny to build this thing for him in his business. He's been there since day one. He's a legend in the space, and he's also an investor in the product, and just it's a good fit all around. But he gave an incredible presentation, had a lot of great things to say, but when he got to the practical stuff, here was his simple 3-part strategy. You ready? 1 launch, 1 funnel, 1 group. 1 launch, 1 funnel, 1 group. Now, what does he mean by this? How can you apply this? Because his business is a little bit different than everyone else's business, but there's a lot of overlap. So the point he was trying to drive home is that we've got a bunch of clutter, and oftentimes we'll build something and it won't do as well as we hope, so we'll go build another thing. That could be a new offer, a new product. It could be you launched a product, but then the launch didn't do what you wanted, so you try to launch it in a different way and then a different way, and you're constantly doing new and different, and you never focus. And so he was being awarded a $100 million on Kajabi award at the end of the event because he had just generated over $100 million on the platform. Now, he has other businesses that have generated over $100 million as well, but for his coaching business, like courses, communities, online coaching products, the stuff that we're pretty much building and selling, he's generated over $100 million on just Kajabi, as long as Kajabi's been around, which is 14 years. So that was impressive. And he was like, hey, I think until you've done over $10 million online, you should have one launch, one funnel, one group. And so let's break this down, because I think there's a lot of wisdom here. And I'm going to share with you how I would apply it if I'm coaching you. So when he says one launch, I like to swap that word out for one offer. And what I mean by that is you need one really good offer. Instead of building a bunch of products that are okay and just throwing stuff at the wall, which is how I started my business, because I didn't know what I was doing. I built 6 courses in a span of 2 years, and the first 4 were not any good. Course number 5 and 6 were good. Now, did I learn a lot? Yes. Is there value in building and trying and iterating? Yeah. Again, there's a million ways to do this. But the goal should be, in my opinion, and this is what I help clients do, even who already have big businesses and they have a lot of stuff, is let us focus on what is your best offer. Like, what's the product or offer that is going to get your people the best results, it's going to get the most results, and it's going to put the most money in your pocket. Maybe that's your flagship course. I don't know. Maybe that's your membership. Maybe it's one-on-one coaching. Maybe it's a service you have. I'm not really sure what it is, but you need to hone in on what is your best offer, okay? And then that offer needs one really good sales page. You don't need to continue to iterate your sales copy. You don't need to continue to A/B test your sales page. Like, it's kind of a waste of time. Get some simple sales copy training. I've sold some in my courses. You can Google some frameworks for sales copy, right? A real basic one is PSA, problem, solution, action, right? What's the problem that they have that you can solve, right? And tease out the pains of that problem, and then share your story of struggle that led to a solution. Your solution happens to be your offer, whatever that is. It could be your one-on-one coaching is the best solution for them. It could be your course is the best solution. It could be your membership. It could be a physical product, right? And then you can unpack that solution. What are the benefits? What are the features? What are the testimonials? What are the guarantees? Sort of the once you're into the solution itself piece, and then call them to take action. And show them what their future will look like without taking action or with taking action. That's a simple framework right there you got for free that you could use. But just create one good, I'm not saying perfect, one good sales page for that one good offer, and then have one good sales vehicle for it. What's a sales vehicle? Well, again, this is where online creators get confused because they see all these different ways to sell things, but they're all just different sales vehicles, and you can pick one that you like, one that works for you. Examples include webinars. That is simply a sales vehicle. Speaking on live stages, the sales vehicle. 5-day challenges, sales vehicle. 3-part pre-recorded video workshop a la Jeff Walker, where you get a 10, 20-minute video on Monday, one on Wednesday, one on Friday, then the cart opens the next day. That is a sales vehicle. Even a simple 5-day email sequence like I teach my students can be a sales vehicle, right? Find one that works for you. Getting on the phone, booking a call and selling on the phone is a sales vehicle. Every single one of those are legitimate sales vehicles, but find one that works for your sales page and your offer. One good offer, one good sales page, one good sales vehicle. And figure that out. Again, it doesn't have to be the best. Do not obsess over the best. Because once you have something that's good enough, then you can go find more people to sell it to. And that's what we want to do. That's what I've been doing for 15 years. I've never had the best offers. I've never had the best sales pages. I've probably never had the best sales vehicle. But I've had a good enough offer and good enough sales page, good enough sales vehicle to generate tens of millions of dollars online in a couple of different businesses, in a couple of different industries, originally in a hobby market and now as a business coach. So if I can do it on good enough, so can you. So that's the one launch he's talking about. Just get one thing, get good at selling one thing instead of selling a bunch of other things. Then he said one funnel. Okay, so the funnel is your pre-recorded email sequence that's an automated follow-up, okay? So if you don't have a funnel, you really need one. Don't overcomplicate it. It's just a series of emails that, imagine from the user's perspective, they opted into your email list because they downloaded a free guide or lead magnet or went to your free webinar or whatever it is. Now you've got their contact information. You can follow up with them. Let's have one really good funnel that sells that really good offer. So if you've had a good launch, which is the good offer, good sales page, good sales vehicle, you've launched something, you've made good money, you've gotten proof that this works and people like it, well, then make it evergreen. Meaning, put that whole thing into your funnel so someone new who opts into your email list for your free thing, they can automatically go through a pre-recorded automated launch sequence. And it may not be exactly the same because there may not be the same scarcity or urgency, or there may not be any in the email sequence, and that's fine. But put people through that one good launch in your funnel. Then if there's people that don't buy, which newsflash, most people won't buy in the funnel or anytime you launch, the non-buyers, so the buyers get it and then they're happy. The non-buyers add a funnel for them or extend the funnel for them. So you can have simple automation, especially in a tool like Kajabi that says, okay, they've gone through the sales funnel, but they didn't buy. Well, now put them in another funnel that tries to follow up with them and get them to buy from a different angle, or maybe offer them something else, or maybe downsell them to a portion of the offer, or whatever it is, or maybe give them a payment plan, or you can have a sort of follow-up sequence for the non-buyers. And then after that, for both the buyers and the non-buyers, if you really have more offers you want to sell, you can put extended offers in the funnel. Make that one good evergreen funnel longer. Add multiple offers over the weeks and months. Brendon's famous for having year-long funnels, like a 12-month funnel. I've never had anything quite that long. The longest funnel I had was with my first business, The Recording Revolution. It was a 45-day funnel that offered 5 different offers throughout those 45 days, about one a week, not quite. And then when that was running for a couple of years, it was generating $50,000 a month on autopilot, selling to broke musicians, okay? Imagine having a good funnel that's putting $50,000 a month in your pocket without you having to do any work because you're already creating organic content and getting leads and they're just being sold. This is not me launching. This is just evergreen. So that is a huge, huge thing to take advantage of. So one launch, one funnel, and then one group. And he didn't go into a ton of detail about this, but as someone who's run multiple communities, both paid and free, here's my take on this. Once you've got a really killer offer, if it already isn't a group offer, because for you that might be your core offer or best offer, you want to add some sort of group. So this could be a paid group coaching program, sort of like a mid-ticket or high-ticket program, or a paid membership, right? Can be anywhere from, the cheapest membership I had was $5 a month. The most expensive membership I had was $150 a month. So you could have anything like in that range, or it could be a paid group coaching program, right? It could be $1,000 a month or $500 a month, right? Or it could be a mastermind, it'd be even more. So there's a lot of options, but a paid group. Why group? Well, because group creates community and stickiness and brand loyalty and transformation. When you have people helping each other, I mean, you know, if you try to learn by yourself, you can learn by yourself, certainly. When you learn in a group, even if you're an introvert like me that really enjoys learning by himself and being by himself for the most part, I get a lot of benefit from groups. I pay tens of thousands of dollars a year, almost $100,000 a year I pay to be in groups personally, myself, as an introvert, because I get a lot from the people in these communities and I'm challenged and I grow and it opens up doors for me that I wouldn't have just from working with somebody one-on-one. So have a paid group, membership, group coaching, mastermind, whatever, or you can do a paid live event, right? Create a live event. Or it could be a free live event for paying members of something else if you can work the cost in from something else. But have a live event because that creates group, but in person, which is the stickiest, the most powerful of all groups. Get people together. It could be a meetup. It can be a one-day hot seats mastermind event in your city, like book out a hotel ballroom and cater a luncheon, and that's it. You know, just do paid live events. I did a paid mastermind weekend where 5 guys came down to Tampa and we stayed in this beautiful Airbnb that my wife and I bought. And we did hot seats and coaching all weekend long. And I took them out for drinks and dinner and took them to speakeasy. And we had fun and showed them the city. That was a paid live event. Really, really powerful, right? A couple of those guys have turned into private one-on-one clients. So we've upgraded from there. And a lot of them have had huge breakthroughs that have shifted their own businesses. So it's good for them. It's good for me. I had a lot of fun and I love working with people in person. So have a paid live event. Or finally, you could just have a free community. Like people have had free Facebook groups, you could do that. I would prefer, like, if you have Kajabi, their community product is incredible. And Hint, hint, it's getting even better moving forward. But have a free community where you can interact with your own people. So instead of like hoping to interact with them on a social media platform where you can't control whether they see your posts or not, you can bring them into your own ecosystem, have your own online community, and then you can foster connection, which is the number one thing a community does. But brand loyalty, because as they're inside of your community, even if they're learning from other people or getting encouragement from other people in your community, they're associating it with you and your brand. So it's good for brand loyalty. And then if it's a free group, then you're really going to want to upsell from that community. You're going to want to strategically promote products when it's appropriate, do offers for those people that are in your community, do trainings in that community that sell things. And if you have a beautiful Kajabi community, well, then you can put all these cool banners and stuff that just automatically sort of evergreen style sell your products because it's visually right there, like, hey, grab Graham's Automatic Income Academy or apply for Graham's coaching or whatever it would be. You could see those banners in the community, so then you want to upsell from there. So create connection, brand loyalty, and have upsell opportunity. Does that make sense? So in essence, the core message that Brendon was trying to get through to everyone in the room, which included a lot of beginners and a lot of advanced people like me, which is the simpler your business model and the more focused you are on getting more people into that simple business model, the faster you'll grow and the bigger you'll grow. And I know that from experience to be true. So you can add more products. And I love the idea of a product suite. So don't mishear me. I'm not against having multiple products. In fact, I think that's part of the play because everybody needs different products at times. There might be even different entry points or price points potentially. But there's also, when you have a killer offer that's selling really, really well, what else can you offer those people? You always want to be asking. But if you haven't made your first million yet, you probably want to just focus on one good offer in a launch, one good funnel, and one good group, which might be a second offer, which he was kind of, he didn't really get time to explain that. But I would view those as two offers. Worst case, put everyone that bought your offer into a group. But you want to think long-term as well. How could you leverage a paid group? That's it. I love the focus. I love the simplicity. And before I share the final quote with you that blew me away, that Brendon shared, put in a comment below if you're watching on YouTube. What of those three do you need to focus on in the next 30 days? Do you need to focus on your launch strategy and sales vehicle and that kind of stuff? Make sure you have the right offer. Do you need to focus on making it all evergreen or extending your funnel and getting a really, really good funnel? Just write a bunch of emails. I literally did that 10 years ago. I remember going to a coffee shop and I was in Manhattan for an interview for something. And I sat at a coffee shop and I just wrote that 45-day funnel I told you about that was making me $50K. I just wrote it in one shot at a coffee shop, just drank a bunch of espresso and wrote emails and trusted my gut and was like, what would my people need? And I would give them great content in the emails, great offers, put that thing on autopilot and made me $50K a month for years. Right? So is it that for you or is it the group? Do you need to launch your first group product or event or free community if you haven't had one already? So put that in a comment below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, I need you to stop and think, like pause it. Which one of those three do you need to focus on in the next 30 days? Now let's wrap it up because Brendon shared a lot of quotes and I got a ton written down. So much good stuff that I want to go over, and maybe I will in future episodes. But I love the tactical stuff that we covered, but he had this great line that, to me, the context of why this line gave me hope for all of us as we go into 2025 and beyond is all the hype about a couple of things. One, AI, and two, just how crowded the internet is and how noisy the internet is and how everybody's doing what you do. And I hear this all the time. I'm in a saturated niche. And it's like, hey, that's good. If it's saturated, that means that there's money to be made there. If it's crickets and it's not saturated, you might want to be worried because that maybe there's no money to be made there. Otherwise, people would be there already. Most things are already saturated. That doesn't mean you can't make money, so you just got to get that out of your head. If it's saturated, that means you can definitely make money. It's just up to you. No one's going to give you the money. You got to go get it by serving people powerfully, but there's money to be made. So I get that. But there is this growing fear of like, oh, it's just going to get harder and harder, and my ads aren't performing, or no one's seeing my Instagram posts anymore, or a lot of my friends are YouTubers and like, I'm not getting as many views as I once was, blah, 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 blah. What I love is this quote. I'm going to read you the quote that Brendon shared. And then we're going to land with this because I think this is the most profound thing he said the whole time. He said, if all you do is solve problems, you will be a commodity. If you lead people, you will always make more. If all you do is solve problems, you will be a commodity. But if you lead people, you will always make more. Now, this is subtle, but the distinction is powerful if you get it. We are conditioned as entrepreneurs to be problem solvers. That's why we get rewarded, because we see the world's problems and we go out and solve them. You solve problems for your customers and clients by educating them, giving them transformation, getting them through barriers where they're stuck. And so, as we talked about with the sales copy a few minutes ago, right? You lead out with sales copy. Generally, there's a hook to the desire or the outcome they want, but you really, after that, lead out with a problem. Like, if I can clearly articulate your problem to you, you're going to know that I understand your pain. And we buy out of pain. We want to get away from pain and towards pleasure. So yes, we're problem solvers. But listen to what he says is, if all you do is solve problems, well, then you're just like everybody else. There's a million other people just like me who can solve your problem of needing to grow your business, work less, and love every day that you wake up more, right? Create more money, margin, and meaning. There's plenty of other people that can help you solve those problems. I'm not unique in that. I could easily become a commodity if all I focus on is just solving that problem for you. But listen to what he says, though. If you lead people, you will always make more. Here's where you have an edge. And here's where hopefully I'm modeling this for you. And I may not always do this well, but I try. As a solopreneur or a brand online, you really are a personal brand. And even the Recording Revolution, my first business, was a personal brand. It was built around me and my face. The moment my face left and I brought in other content creators, even though we still made a lot of money, revenue dropped almost in half overnight when my face disappeared, right? Personal brand. Even if it's not called your name, it's a personal brand if you are the face and the leading content creator of it. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It's a bad thing if you want a business you can exit from. It's a bad thing if you want a business you can sell, because no one's going to want to buy a business if you're the face of the business and you're not coming with it. But if you want to build a business that you never need to sell, because it always is rewarding you financially week in and week out, month in and month out, and you'll never burn out from it because you're building it the way I teach you to build it. And you're basically like half retired the rest of your life. And you enjoy what you do and it's serving people. If you're building that kind of business, which I hope you are, it's the best kind of business to build, in my opinion, then the key here is the way to do this well and stand out is to not just create great content and not just have a good offer that gets people results. It's to be more than that. It's to be a leader. If you don't like the word leader or lead, swap out the word leader or lead with influence. And isn't that, I think John Maxwell's definition of leadership, and he's the guru of leadership, is that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And so you can be a bad influence, you can be a bad leader, or have a good influence. I don't think of myself as a leader in the sense that I have a team that I lead, or I'm leading from the stage, or I have meetings, or I'm doing one-on-one meetings and performance reviews. And I don't think of myself as a leader in that sense. But if you look at leadership as just influence, nothing more, nothing less, then by that definition, yeah, I'm a leader. I'm influencing you right now, for better or for worse. I'm influencing all over the internet every day. I'm writing books that are putting my influence out there in the world. I'm doing webinars. I'm speaking on stages. I'm trying on purpose, clearly, to influence people to create change in their lives, change that I think will help them. And I influence them with free, and I influence them with paid, and everything in between. I influence them one-on-one. I influence them in small groups. I influence them on a stage. I influence them through a podcast or a video like this. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm influencing. I'm leading. You're doing the same. If you make content of any kind, you are a leader. You are an influencer in the best sense. I hate the way the word influencer has been hijacked in our industry to just be someone with a big audience that can do brand deals. But if people are listening to you, you're a leader. And so if you think about that as a responsibility, you think about that as a mantle, a weight in a good way of like, ooh, here's an opportunity to stand out from the crowd. Yeah, I've got a great product or suite of products. Yeah, I've got great content. But when people see me or my brand are they being influenced for good? And are they being led somewhere, away from somewhere bad towards somewhere good? When they interact with my content or myself or my brand or my team, if I have other people creating content like me or for me, what kind of feeling do they have? Do they feel better? Do they come to my content one way and leave changed? Even the free content, especially the free content. I always felt like with my first business, the Recording Revolution, people would come for a problem to be solved. Graham, I don't understand how to record this music. I don't understand what this knob does. I don't understand which microphone to buy. But they would leave being influenced for the better, meaning they would leave feeling, oh, this is simpler than I thought. I can do this. I don't need all this other stuff. It's not going to be as expensive as I once thought. I actually can create my art. There's nothing holding me back. The only thing holding me back is myself. That's how I wanted my people to leave my content in that business. And that's what I focused on in every piece of content. And I do similar stuff here. What about you? Are you leading people? Are you influencing people? If you do, then it doesn't matter how saturated your niche is. You're different because you're leading people. It doesn't matter how much AI can replace our content, if it does at all, because it might be able to solve a problem, but it can't lead or influence the way you can, because you're human and you can listen and you can adapt in a way that AI never will, because you have a heart and a soul. So I love that line, because people are scared out there, and they shouldn't be. They should be pressing into leadership. They should be pressing into influence. They should be pressing into being more for your people than just a problem solver, but being an influence for good. So there's the quote. If all you do is solve problems, you will be a commodity. But if you lead people, you will always make more, because people will pay you more, because you're the one they respect. And you're the one that they will need to follow. All right, my friend, that's it for today. Let me know if you enjoyed this episode, and let me know if you want to hear more from some of the speakers that I took a ton of notes of really, really good stuff from the entire event. There was so much good stuff there, but let me know in a comment. I'll try to get more content out the door to you from that event, because I could talk about any of the 1 points all day long and turn each into an episode. I hope you're having an amazing week where you are. I have so much exciting stuff to tell you that's coming up soon, but just hang tight. In due time, I've been working furiously behind the scenes on some new stuff that I'm really excited for you to check out. Until then, my friend, have an amazing week, and we'll see you next time.